We have a combination of acquisition, investment to start things off, and then we have organic growth to complement those businesses afterwards. So we use our network of international clients to help grow the business. The reason we've used acquisition investment as our first starting point in many countries is that it gives us a base to get the business moving forward. It gives us some expertise in the country. We can then bring in our training, we can share our expertise around our knowledge pool, we can introduce and take people overseas and share that knowledge and bring it back into that country, and then we can start to grow organically with a self-grown team of management that are committed to the same values and the same business ethics that we have. In trying to identify those partners, we're quite fussy about it. They do need to share our values, they do need to share our vision. We're not a suitcase company that sort of has a little bit of a presence, and if it works out, we'll stay there. We make a long-term commitment to those countries to build a business. And certainly when we look at the emerging markets of Southeast Asia and North Asia, when we look at India in particular and the Middle East, it's about having that commitment. It's about putting feet on the ground at the beginning, showing that you're actually there for the long term, and then networking and building your contacts. And that's something OCS Group has been very good at. But again, as a family business, and being a family business can be quite advantageous when you look at both the Middle East, India and Southeast Asia, and China to a great extent, where family businesses are very prominent. It's a good starting point. There is a sort of longevity and an ethics value that sits behind that, which really gels and makes it work. And we've identified partners that share our values and our goals for the longer term, and we're really proud at the way those relationships have developed. India is a fascinating market case for us. India is geographically and by population an enormous economy. There's a huge amount of potential within India as it emerges and as it moves forward. And yet it has a number of inherent challenges within India that we need to overcome. Firstly, there's a real need to understand the culture. So our first move was to find business partners there that we could trust and work with, that would help provide the local knowledge to complement our international knowledge. As I said, we won our first janitorial contract in about 1999, and that provided us with a platform to gain a greater working knowledge of the Indian economy. We then moved in and launched our washroom hygiene business, again by way of a joint venture under the Canon brand. And again, having a local partner enabled us to understand some of the nuances of India and how it worked. I think it would be a fallacy for anyone just to say they could walk in and understand all the machinations of the Indian economy, culture, and the way India works, especially when you're employing a lot of people. So we needed that bridge. We chose people that shared our ethics and our approach to business and the longevity of our goals. That all gelled, and that enabled us in 2012 to make 3 further significant acquisitions to bolster our skills. Acquisitions here have provided a rapid growth platform for us. It's enabled us to jump to a higher platform straight away. We can then complement that with training and organic growth, and that has worked extremely well for us. India itself as a marketplace is not easy necessarily to understand. But I think when you look at the growing middle class within India, it gives you some idea of the potential of the Indian economy for the long term. Is it going to be easy? No, of course it's not. But actually by working and growing a local management team that lives and breathes the way India works, then we can develop a sustainable business into the future. And that's exactly what is happening for us now. I think we have a unique opportunity, India, Great Britain, to work together incredibly well. We have the capabilities to export from here into the Indian market. We have a huge advantage in the English language being very well spoken throughout India, and with Modi on his visit here to the UK in the near future, a further opportunity for British companies to really build and cement their bonds with India and the new Indian government. As an economy, it's rapidly growing. It has a very large workforce which is mobile and extremely keen to be educated and learn. They are all good ingredients for anyone wishing to invest. There will be challenges. There is a degree of protectionism, there are frustrations in operating in India, and there are challenges around the way some of the cultural issues interface and contradict with business. However, The days of sort of the British Empire invading India and saying this is the way we're going to do it are all gone. The way we have to operate now is we have to go in and understand those cultures, how the economics of the country work, and work within the structure and work within the environment that India presents. If you're prepared to do that and understand it and love the country, then the opportunities in front of you are enormous, and the relationship between Great Britain and India will be a real positive for the future. The big fundamental for me is the growing Indian middle class and the ability for a larger proportion of the population in India to have travelled overseas to see what the rest of the world is like and bring back new ideas and ways of working. India is keen to get ahead. A lot of people in India just are lapping up education, business opportunity, and a desire to improve their standards of living. This is a really good fundamental. The country has a lot of internal business, so it's self-sufficient in many ways. It can also operate on a global basis. Look at the number of Indian businesses now operating around the world. And I think if we ignore or underestimate the power of the Indian economy, it will be our downfall. For me, in looking at India for the next few years, I see greater modernisation, a real willingness to embrace foreign investment, but with restrictions. I don't think those restrictions are going to disappear quickly, and we have to accept that and work with them, and through education, hopefully those restrictions will ease over time. Whether it's a restriction in percentage shareholding you can have in a business, say in the security business, or whether it's a restriction on how you can operate, they, I think, will disappear over time with education as the Indian economy is more established in its own right. Well, I think we're talking about an emerging economy here, and I think we have to put this into perspective. Yes, you could say at one level everything's about cheapest price and no, we don't want and don't need. But my experience in India is as the multinationals and internationals move into India and as Indian businesses become more internationalized, then there is a much greater need for the standards and the operating levels that we experience elsewhere in the world to be replicated. We've seen it at first hand with our clients. We may have started off at one level, but we've been able to bring it up to another level. If they're going to operate in the healthcare market, in tourism healthcare, they're going to operate to global standards. If they're going to operate in tourism, they will operate to global standards. If they're going to operate in manufacturing, in pharmaceuticals, they will operate to global standards. All of those types of organizations are going to pay the price to get the right quality, to have a competitive international status on the global stage.